Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and in this video, we're going to be going over the top 5 reasons to buy the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 in 2020. So let's get started. This video is sponsored by Moco and their portable laptop stand. If you're looking for an affordable, compact, and high-quality laptop stand, then Moco has you covered. You can easily collapse the stand to take it with you when you travel. It has an adjustable angle, and it even has stands on the left and right sides for your smartphone. Putting your laptop on a stand like this helps improve your posture and overall comfort when using your laptop. Check out the link in the video description to learn more about the Moco portable laptop stand. So these are the top 5 reasons to buy the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 in 2020. Number 1 is the display. So the device has a very large display at 6.3 inches. It is a Super AMOLED display too, so you're going to get really good colors and viewing angles. The display is 1440p, so an extremely good resolution, despite this device being a few years old. Now we're getting a PPI of 512, an 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio, so kind of a more narrower but taller form factor, but not quite as narrow and tall as some of the newer phones from Samsung, such as the Galaxy S20. Now we're also getting an 83.2% screen-to-body ratio, so that's really not too bad, despite this phone having a bezel at both the top and bottom, and there being no pop-up camera, no notch, and also no hole punch for the front-facing camera. So the phone does feature more of an old school design since it doesn't have any of those things, but at the same time, we are getting decently small bezels all around. So I certainly am a big fan of that. And overall, I would say that the display and the design of this phone have aged extremely well since the device was launched. But seriously though, this display is awesome, it's very large, it's excellent for watching video content. Of course, by going on social media, you can see that a lot of your feed is going to fit in here, so you won't be able to miss anything. And performance for apps like Instagram, for example, are still really good. Now, the second reason to buy the Galaxy Note 8 in 2020 is because this device does feature a headphone jack at the bottom. Now that's something that Samsung has been slowly phasing out with all their various devices. Now some of their newer A-series phones do feature a 3.5mm headphone jack, but you can't find that anymore with their newer flagships. For example, the Galaxy Note 10 does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and you also can't find it with the Galaxy S20. So if you are a big fan of using a 3.5mm headphone jack and you want to get a Galaxy Note, your options are becoming more and more limited, but at least you know with the Galaxy Note 8, you are indeed getting the 3.5mm headphone jack. The third reason to get the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 in 2020 is because of the processor and performance that the device does provide. So when this phone was launched several years ago, it did feature one of Qualcomm's best processors, which at the time was the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835. So this device does have the 835. It also features 6 GB of RAM, and thanks to the decent amount of RAM and solid processor, the phone still does deliver pretty decent benchmark results. So you can see here I got an overall score on Antutu at 256680. So not bad of a score there, that's for sure. That's going to be dramatically better than most budget phones out there. And you're going to see for the last point that I make is that you can actually get one of these for a really good price right now. But certainly at this score, it's going to satisfy the majority of people out there. Of course, if you do want a device that features really great performance, then you are going to have to go for a newer flagship like the Galaxy S20 or Galaxy Note 10. And if you get one of those devices, then your Antutu score is going to be closer to the 500,000 range. But for example, the Samsung Galaxy A51, which I recently made a video about, gets a score in the 170,000 range. So this device will get you much better performance than the Galaxy A51, even though you can get this device and that device for a very similar price. So I expect the processor to continue to keep up with many of the tasks that most people do with their Android devices for at least several years into the future. So I'm definitely optimistic about that. My fourth favorite thing about the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 in 2020 is the software. Now, unfortunately, the Galaxy Note 8 will never get Android 10 and will never get Samsung's One UI 2.0. But the good news, though, is that even with Android 9 Pie and One UI 1.0, the software experience is still really good here. We're getting features such as the App Edge, so you're really not missing out on much by not getting Android 10. And the phone has even been updated to the March 1st, 2020 security patch. So you're still getting a very new and recent security patch, despite this phone no longer getting newer versions of Android. Now, another cool thing with the software too is that you actually get support with the Galaxy Note 8 for DeX. Now, if you're not familiar with what DeX is, you can check out my other videos about it. But essentially, it's a desktop interface that you can get with the Galaxy Note 8. So all you have to do is just plug it into a compatible monitor. And then if you want to, you can pair up the phone with a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard. And then you can basically use a desktop interface all running off of this device. Now, of course, all the newer Samsung flagships also feature DeX support, but you're going to be paying a lot more money for those devices. So to my understanding, the Galaxy Note 8 is one of the most inexpensive devices that you can run DeX off of in 2020. And in addition to that, the actual performance with DeX is really smooth and works extremely well. And then finally, the best thing about getting the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 in 2020 is the price. Now, I bought this phone on Amazon as a renewed device, which essentially means that it is a previously used phone, but there's also devices that pop up on Amazon Renewed that were just returned, so they were hardly used at all. So you don't exactly know what you're going to get, but they do guarantee at least that you're going to be able to get a phone that's in nice working condition, has its glass in great condition too. You can see there's no scratches with this phone or anything like that. So really, it looks like a brand new Galaxy Note 8. I believe before me, someone did use this phone for a little while. I don't really have any ways of knowing that for sure. And the only downside with that is that the battery won't be quite as fresh as a brand new device. But I was able to get this phone for around $270. And I'm pretty sure that since I bought this phone, the price has continued to go down. So definitely take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing for this device on Amazon. But the point is that just several years ago, this phone was quite expensive. And now you can get it for a fraction of the price that it was new. But at the same time, you're getting a ton of different benefits, a ton of different features, and it still functions extremely well in 2020. Another cool thing too about going with an Amazon Renewed device is that they do feature an extended return policy. So you actually get 90 days with the phone until the cutoff for where you can't return it anymore. So if you think you're taking a risk by going with one of these renewed devices, you're really not. Because if at any time during those 90 days, something bad pops up where you don't think the phone is worth it anymore, then you're able to freely return it and get your money back and either take that money and get a different renewed device or just go for a brand new device instead. But from my experience, and I've already bought about 10 renewed devices from Amazon Renewed in the past, you will be satisfied, and it's very rare that you're going to get a phone that doesn't live up to what's advertised. So in general, I think there's plenty of great reasons to buy the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 in 2020. Of course, there's the S Pen, which is the signature feature, but I figured I wouldn't really talk about that a whole lot in this video because we all know about the S Pen. But it's a really great tool to be able to use for both navigating around your device, taking notes, and doing other things too. So things are looking really good for the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, even now in 2020. But I'm really curious to know what you think. What do you think of those 5 benefits and reasons to go with the Note 8 in 2020? Are you convinced? Do you think this is worth it? Or do you have something else in mind? Let me know in the comments section below. But definitely make sure to check out the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing for this device. Also take a look at the sponsor link in the video description as well. But thanks for watching everyone, and I will see you in the next video.